Commander Elias Kane sat alone in the small cabin of his starship, Aurora's Edge, staring at the glowing screen before him. The hum of the engines was a familiar comfort, a constant reminder that he was far from Earth yet still in control of his own path. He had traveled too many systems, explored uncharted planets, and faced dangers most humans could not imagine. Yet, nothing in his long career had prepared him for the message that had just arrived. It had come through a channel that was usually reserved for official galactic communications, a signal encrypted in layers so complex that only a handful of humans could even begin to decipher it. Elias's brow furrowed as he read the first lines. Commander Elias Kane, your presence is requested on the planet Valora. This is not a request to your government or your fleet. This is personal. The life of my daughter depends on you. The signature at the end of the message was even more shocking. Myrrh, Queen of the Xerthian Empire. Elias leaned back in his chair, stunned. The Xerthians were one of the most powerful civilizations in the known galaxy. Their empire spanned hundreds of star systems, and their technology was beyond anything humans had achieved. Humans were usually seen as a minor species, clever in small ways but incapable of true greatness compared to advanced alien races. And yet, here was a message addressed to him personally, a human. He read the message again, slowly, as if by doing so he might understand it better. The life of my daughter depends on you. Those words echoed in his mind. They were simple, but their meaning was enormous. A human, a single man, was being asked to save the child of a queen from one of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. Elias felt a shiver of both fear and curiosity. What could she possibly want from me? He muttered aloud. He had faced pirates, rogue AI, and even a black hole collapse during a mining expedition. Nothing had ever made him feel so small and yet so significant at the same time. He picked up the communication device again. Commander Kane. He heard the calm voice of Admiral Tress, his commanding officer, though he barely noticed it. You received it too, yes? That message. It's from the Xerthian Queen. I've never seen anything like it. It's not an order, but it carries urgency that even our highest level requests don't have. Elias nodded, even though she couldn't see him. I know, he said. But why me? Why a human? There was a pause. That's what we need to find out. But you don't have time to wait. The transmission included coordinates and the starship path. If you don't leave immediately, you might be too late. Elias swallowed hard. His hands trembled slightly, though not from fear, but from the weight of responsibility. He had faced danger many times before, but this was entirely different. He wasn't just exploring or defending human colonies or negotiating trade. He might be responsible for saving the life of an alien child. By the time he reached the hangar bay, the Aurora's Edge was already prepped for jump. The crew was quiet, sensing that something monumental was about to happen. Elias walked past them, nodding silently, his mind racing with questions. The ship's AI, Luma, spoke in her calm, melodic voice. Commander, the coordinates have been set for Valora. Estimated travel time, 14 hours. Good, Luma. Engage the jump drive when ready. As the stars stretched into lines during the jump, Elias allowed himself a moment of reflection. He thought about his daughter, back on Earth, in the small garden he had been tending for her last week. He thought about the people he loved, the life he had built, and the endless possibilities that awaited him in the galaxy. For the first time in years, he wondered if humans were truly as insignificant as most aliens believed. The journey to Valora was long, but Elias barely noticed the passing of time. His mind was alive with theories. Could the child's illness be something only humans could cure? How could a single human him be valuable to an alien empire so advanced? It had conquered entire star systems. He walked through the ship's corridors, studying the holographic maps of the galaxy. The Xerthian Empire's homeworlds were marked in brilliant blue light, their territories spreading across hundreds of star systems. And yet, here he was, a single human traveling to the heart of that empire, carrying the hopes of a child he had never met. When the Aurora's Edge emerged from the jump, Valora was breathtaking. The planet glimmered with crystal-like mountains that reflected the light of its 3 suns. Rivers of liquid light flowed across vast plains, and the atmosphere shimmered in colors that humans had no words for. Elias felt a sense of awe he had never experienced, even after years of interstellar exploration. "Luma, record this. This planet. It's like nothing we've ever seen," he said. "Yes, Commander," Luma replied. "Sensors indicate life forms of varying complexity, many previously unknown. Planetary stability is excellent. This is a very suitable environment for habitation." Elias's mind, however, was elsewhere. He wondered what awaited him at the palace of the Zerithian queen. Would he be welcomed as a hero, or would he be seen as a curiosity, a mere human intruder? The uncertainty both excited and terrified him. When the ship landed, he was greeted by a group of Zerithian emissaries. Their forms were tall and graceful, their skin shimmering faintly like the surface of Velora itself. Their eyes were large and reflective, and their movements were precise, almost choreographed. One stepped forward and spoke in perfect galactic standard. "Commander Kane, the Queen thanks you for arriving. She requests your presence immediately." Elias nodded. "Lead the way." The journey from the landing site to the palace was unlike anything Elias had ever seen. Towering crystal spires rose from the ground, connected by bridges that seemed to float in midair. Rivers of light ran beneath them, and strange, glowing creatures flew gracefully around the spires. Every step made him feel smaller, yet more important, as if the universe had specifically arranged this moment for him. Finally, he entered the grand palace. The doors opened to reveal a hall larger than any human cathedral, filled with colors and lights that seemed alive. And there, seated on a throne that seemed carved from living crystal, was Queen Myrrah. Her presence was commanding, yet serene. Her eyes, a deep shade of violet, seemed to look into the very core of Elias. She spoke, and her voice resonated through the hall like a melody. "Commander Elias Kane," she said, "thank you for coming. I have called upon you because no other being can help my daughter. She is gravely ill, and only your human spirit may save her." Elias felt a shiver run down his spine. He opened his mouth to speak, but words failed him. The Queen's gaze was so intense, so filled with hope and expectation, that he felt as though his entire life had led to this moment. "Why? Why me?" he finally managed to ask. "You are human," Myrrah said simply, yet with a weight that made every word heavy. "Humans possess something rare in this galaxy. Strength alone cannot save life, and knowledge alone cannot heal it. Only the human heart, its courage, its adaptability, and its compassion can restore what is lost. My daughter's life depends on you, Elias Kane. Will you help us?" Elias swallowed hard. He had faced impossible odds before, but this was different. It was not a battle of weapons or strategy. It was a challenge of being human at his very best. He nodded slowly, feeling a mixture of fear, pride, and determination. I will do everything I can," he said. The Queen's lips curved into a faint, almost imperceptible smile. "Then follow me," she said. "Time is precious, and the child needs you now more than ever." As Elias followed Queen Myrrah deeper into the palace, he realized something incredible. In this vast galaxy, full of advanced races and unimaginable technology, humans were not insignificant. In fact, they were unique, and for the first time, he felt that his humanity was exactly what the universe needed. And so, with a mixture of trepidation and resolve, Commander Elias Kane took the first step toward a destiny larger than he had ever imagined. A destiny that would not only test his courage, but reveal the extraordinary potential hidden within the human spirit. Commander Elias Kane followed Queen Myrrah through the vast halls of the palace. Every step revealed more wonders. The walls seemed alive, glowing with soft, shifting colors, and intricate patterns floated in the air like living paintings. Despite his years of interstellar travel, Elias had never seen anything like this. Velora was more than a planet, it was a work of art, a living testament to the intelligence and creativity of the Zerithian Empire. "Commander," Queen Myrrah said, her voice calm but firm, "the journey you have taken is only the beginning. My daughter, Princess Lyra, is gravely ill. No Zerithian medicine can help her, but your human nature, it may be the key." Elias paused. Human nature, I don't understand. How can I help her? Mira's violet eyes seemed to pierce through him. Humans possess something rare in the galaxy, an ability to adapt, to feel, and to understand life in ways that surpass logic and technology. Lyra's condition is not something science alone can cure. Only a human heart, guided by compassion and courage, may restore her. Elias swallowed hard. The responsibility weighed heavily on him. He had faced deadly missions, hostile planets, and rogue factions, but this challenge was different. It was not a matter of skill or weapons. It required empathy, intuition, and the strength to face the unknown. The queen led him to a chamber at the heart of the palace. As the doors opened, Elias stopped in awe. The room was circular, with walls of translucent crystal that refracted the sunlight from Valar's three suns. At the center lay a figure resting on a floating bed of shimmering light. Princess Lyra. She looked no older than 10 Earth years, with pale skin that glowed faintly and hair that sparkled like starlight. Her breathing was slow and shallow, and she seemed almost fragile, as if a single touch could break her. Yet even in her weakened state, there was a quiet strength in her eyes. Elias stepped closer, careful not to startle her. "Your Highness," he said softly, "I'm here to help." Lyra's eyes opened slowly, and for a moment, Elias thought she might not speak. Then, in a voice as soft as a whisper, she said, "Are you human?" "Yes," he replied gently. "I am, and I will do everything I can to help you." A small smile flickered across her lips. "Mother says, only a human can help me." "Why me? Why humans?" Elias knelt slightly, keeping his voice calm. "Humans are special in ways the galaxy does not always see. We can feel deeply, we can understand emotions, and we can find hope even in the darkest moments. That may be exactly what you need, Princess." Queen Myrrah watched silently from her throne. Elias noticed a trace of hope in her eyes, mixed with worry. He realized that he had to succeed not for fame or glory, but because a life depended on him. The princess lay back on the floating bed, and Elias examined her carefully. Sensors and monitors lined the room, displaying information he barely understood. The illness was complex, a rare energy imbalance in her body, unlike anything humans had encountered. Traditional medicine, even Xerthian advanced medicine, could not restore her energy flow. "I need to understand your condition," Elias said aloud, speaking to both the princess and the queen. "Can you tell me how you feel? Do certain things make it worse?" Lyra nodded weakly. "I feel cold sometimes, like my energy is slipping away. And sometimes I hear whispers, strange voices inside me. They are frightening, but I don't want to be scared." Elias's mind worked quickly. Humans were not only intelligent, but they were adaptable, able to solve problems that machines and even advanced aliens could not. Perhaps there was a way to connect with her energy using human intuition. He took a deep breath. "Princess, I need you to trust me. We will try something together. It may feel strange, but I will be with you every step." Lyra's violet eyes met his, and for the first time, Elias saw a spark of hope. "I trust you," she whispered. Queen Myrrah nodded approvingly. "You must understand, Commander, that the ritual to heal her will be unlike anything you have experienced. You will not fight monsters or enemies, but the challenge will test your mind, your courage, and your heart. Are you prepared for that?" Elias straightened. "I am. Whatever it takes, I will do it." Myrrah's expression softened, almost relieved. "Good. Then we begin preparations immediately." The next few hours were a whirlwind. The queen's advisors brought ancient texts, instruments, and strange crystalline devices. They explained Lyra's energy imbalance in terms Elias barely understood. Yet as he listened, he realized something important. No technology or knowledge alone could solve this. It would require patience, observation, and the human ability to connect emotionally with another being. Elias spent time observing Princess Lyra, talking gently, and learning her patterns. He noticed small things, how she responded to certain lights, how her breathing changed when she heard a melody, and even how her faint smile seemed to energize her slightly. These were clues no machine could interpret. Only a human could notice. As evening fell on Valorum, The palace glowed with the soft light of its 3 suns setting simultaneously. Elias sat beside Lyra's bed, quietly thinking. He realized that humans had a unique way of bringing hope, even in hopeless situations. Perhaps that was why Queen Myrrah had called him here, not because he was stronger or smarter than any alien, but because he was human. "Commander Kane," Myrrah said suddenly, her voice echoing in the chamber, "I must warn you. The path ahead is difficult. Even with your guidance, the ritual may fail. You must remain calm, focused, and compassionate. Any fear or doubt could worsen her condition." Elias nodded solemnly. "I understand, Your Highness. I will do my best." The princess stirred slightly, as if sensing the gravity of the situation. She looked at Elias with trust and curiosity. "Will it hurt?" she asked softly. "No," Elias said reassuringly. "It might feel strange, but I promise I will not let anything harm you. We will face this together." Myrrah observed the exchange and finally spoke words that left Elias momentarily speechless. "Human," she said, her voice filled with admiration and sincerity. "Your presence here gives us hope. You may not realize it, but your very existence, your courage, your compassion has brought light to a place where even the greatest technology cannot reach. Watch carefully, Lyra. This is what humans can do." Elias felt a surge of pride, but also a deep responsibility. He had always believed in human potential, but to hear an alien queen acknowledge it so openly was almost overwhelming. For the first time, he truly understood that humans were special, not because of weapons, speed, or machines, but because of their hearts. The night on Velora passed quietly. Elias stayed near Princess Lyra, keeping watch and speaking softly. He hummed simple melodies from Earth, told stories of distant planets he had visited, and shared memories of his home. Slowly, her breathing became steadier, and a faint glow returned to her cheeks by morning. Elias felt a sense of cautious hope. He knew the challenge was far from over, but the first steps had been taken. Princess Lyra had responded to his presence, and that alone was a small victory. He realized that this mission would test every part of him, not his strength, not his intelligence, but his ability to remain human in the face of the extraordinary. Queen Myrrah entered the chamber as the first rays of light touched the crystalline walls. "Commander," she said softly, "you have done well." The princess showed signs of energy stabilization. "Tomorrow, we begin the resonance trials. They will be difficult, but I believe you are the one who can succeed where others cannot." Elias bowed slightly. "I will not fail, Your Highness. For Lyra and for humanity, I will do everything I can." Myrrah smiled faintly, the warmth in her eyes a rare sight for the stoic queen. "Then rest now, human. Tomorrow, the real work begins. The galaxy watches, but it is your human heart that will determine the outcome." Elias stayed by Lyra's side until the queen left, watching her sleep peacefully. He reflected on the words of the queen. Humanity had value not in dominance or conquest, but in the ability to connect, to hope, and to heal. That realization filled him with purpose and determination. Whatever trials awaited him, he knew that being human was the greatest advantage he could bring. And so, as Velora's twin moons rose in the sky, Elias Kane, human among the stars, prepared for the journey that would test his courage, heart, and the very essence of what it meant to be human. The morning sunlight of Velora streamed through the crystalline windows of the palace, casting prismatic colors across the marble floors. Commander Elias Kane stood beside Princess Lyra's bed, watching as she stirred from sleep. Her pale face showed faint signs of energy returning, a small success after the previous day's quiet work. Yet Elias knew the real challenge lay ahead, the trials of trust. Queen Myrrah entered the chamber with a quiet elegance that commanded attention without effort. "Elias," she said, her voice calm yet firm, "the time has come for the first of the trials. These trials will test your mind, your courage, and your human heart. They are not simple, nor are they safe, but they are necessary if Princess Lyra is to recover fully." Elias nodded, feeling the weight of the moment settle upon his shoulders. "I understand, Your Highness. I am ready." Myrrah's violet eyes softened slightly. "Remember this, strength alone will not carry you. Intelligence alone will not carry you. Only your human qualities, your courage, your empathy, and your ability to adapt will see you through. The first trial awaits in the Crystal Forest. Follow me. The palace doors open to reveal a landscape more beautiful than any Elias had ever imagined. The Crystal Forest stretched endlessly before them, its trees tall and crystalline, their branches shimmering in the sunlight. The ground sparkled like a sea of diamonds, and streams of liquid light wound gracefully between the trees. Strange creatures flitted through the air, their wings glowing faintly. It was a place of breathtaking beauty and subtle danger. Your first trial, Murrah explained, is the trial of perception. The forest shifts around you. Paths appear and disappear, and illusions may distract or mislead. You must find your way to the heart of the forest, where the first test awaits. Only a human mind can see through the illusions. Elias took a deep breath. He had faced hostile terrains before, but nothing like this. He could feel a strange energy pulsing through the forest, almost alive. With steady steps, he entered, careful to observe each movement, each flicker of light dot at first. It seemed simple. The path ahead glimmered, a clear route marked by softly glowing stones. But soon, the illusions began. Trees twisted into impossible shapes, streams flowed upward, and shadows seemed to reach for him. Elias paused, closing his eyes for a moment, drawing upon his training and his human intuition. He felt the forest, not just saw it. He sensed where the illusions were strongest, and he adjusted his steps carefully. Remember, Murrah's voice echoed faintly. Trust your perception, not your sight. He moved slowly, methodically, focusing on what felt real rather than what looked real. Hours passed as he navigated the forest, but he did not falter. Finally, he arrived at a clearing where a crystalline pedestal held a glowing orb. The first trial was complete. He reached out and touched the orb. A warmth spread through his hands and into his chest, a subtle confirmation that he had passed. Impressive, Murrah's voice said behind him. Few beings can complete the trial of perception, and even fewer without hesitation. You are indeed remarkable, human. Elias bowed slightly. Thank you, Your Highness. But I feel there is more to come. Murrah nodded. The next trial tests your courage and resourcefulness. Follow me. She led him deeper into the forest, where the trees grew taller and the light dimmer. The air shimmered with a faint purple glow, and the sounds of the forest became strange and echoing. Soon, they reached a wide chasm, a gap between two cliffs too wide to jump across. A rope bridge hung precariously, swaying in the gentle wind, but halfway across. It broke. Elias froze, looking down into the depths. The fall would be fatal. He could turn back, but he knew that the trial demanded ingenuity. He observed the forest carefully. The crystalline trees emitted faint pulses of light, and some branches seemed flexible and strong enough to support his weight. Taking a deep breath, Elias tested the branches, finding one that could bend without breaking. Using a combination of rope, branches, and careful climbing, he fashioned a way across. Each step required patience and precision, but his human adaptability allowed him to improvise where others might fail. Finally, he reached the other side, breathing heavily but victorious. This forest, it tests more than skill, he said aloud. It tests patience, courage, and the ability to adapt. Murrah's voice rang out again. Precisely, Commander. The forest cannot be conquered by force alone. Only a human heart can perceive its true path. The final trial awaited at the heart of the forest, a place where the light of Valor's suns converged to create a radiant, almost blinding brilliance. There, a guardian of crystal and energy stood, a being of immense power, silent yet watchful. It did not attack, but its presence was commanding, almost intimidating. This is the trial of empathy, Murrah explained. The guardian will not allow passage unless it senses your understanding of life, your compassion, and your intent to help Princess Lyra. Approach it with an open heart. Commander, Elias stepped forward cautiously. The guardian's form shimmered and shifted, reflecting his own image back at him in fragments. He felt a strange resonance, as if the creature could sense his emotions, his intentions. In his very essence, he spoke aloud, though he did not know if the guardian could hear. I am here to help, not to harm. I am here because a life depends on me, and I will not fail. I will protect, I will guide, and I will care. The Guardian's light pulsed in response, and Elias felt a warmth spreading through him, a connection that was difficult to describe. He did not use technology, weapons, or tricks. He relied on the one thing humans had always carried with them: heart, courage, and the capacity to care. Slowly, the Guardian stepped aside, its crystalline form bowing slightly. Elias exhaled in relief and approached the radiant orb at the center of the heart of the forest. As he touched it, he felt a surge of energy, not harmful, but invigorating. The trial of empathy was complete. Queen Myrrah appeared beside him, her eyes filled with admiration. You have done what few could. You have passed all 3 trials, not with strength or intellect alone, but with human qualities that cannot be measured by science. Courage, perception, and compassion, they are your true gifts. Elias felt a mix of pride and humility. He had faced dangerous worlds, fought against enemies, and survived countless crises. But this was different. He had proven that humans could succeed where even the most advanced beings might fail. Not because of power, but because of heart. Princess Lyra, who had been observing through a crystal window connected to the heart of the forest, smiled faintly. Her energy had risen slightly during the trials, and she seemed more alive than before. Elias realized that every human quality he had brought to the trials: patience, courage, empathy, was a spark that could restore her. The queen led Elias back to the palace, the forest behind them glowing softly in the evening light. Tomorrow, she said, we begin the resonance ritual. The trials were preparation. You have shown that your human qualities are the key. Now, we will use them to save Lyra. Elias nodded, though exhaustion weighed heavily on him. The trials had tested his mind and body, but more importantly, they had tested his humanity. He understood now that humans were not insignificant, not in a galaxy of wonders and advanced civilizations. The human heart was a force in itself, capable of inspiring, healing, and overcoming challenges that logic and technology alone could not. That night, as he rested in the palace quarters, Elias reflected on the day's events. He thought of the forest, the Guardian, and the princess. He realized that every experience had shown a unique human strength. The ability to see beyond appearances, to adapt to impossible circumstances, and to care deeply for others. These qualities were not taught in academies or encoded in technology. They were part of humanity's very essence. As Valor's twin moons rose in the sky, Elias felt a renewed sense of purpose. The trials had been difficult, but he had passed them. He had proven not only to the queen and her people, but also to himself, that humans were capable of greatness beyond what the galaxy had imagined. And tomorrow, when the resonance ritual began, he would bring all of those qualities: the perception, the courage, the empathy, into a challenge that would test him like never before. He would stand as a human among the stars, ready to face the unknown and save a life that depended entirely on his heart. For the first time, Elias Kane felt truly certain of one thing: humans, in their simplest and purest form, could shine brighter than any star in the galaxy. The morning sun of Valor rose over the crystalline peaks, casting a soft glow across the palace. Commander Elias Kane stood in the central chamber, flanked by the advisors of Queen Myrrah. The chamber had been transformed for the resonance ritual, a ceremony that combined ancient Zerithian technology and energy channels unknown to human science. At the center lay Princess Lyra, resting on a floating platform of soft light, her small frame glowing faintly with unstable energy. Elias studied the complex arrangement of crystals, channels, and energy nodes surrounding her. At first glance, it seemed almost impossible to understand. Even the queen herself had admitted that no Zerithian could perform the ritual alone. The princess's energy imbalance was delicate, unpredictable, and extremely dangerous. One wrong move could make her condition worse. Commander Kane, Queen Myrrah said, her violet eyes serious but encouraging, today, you will combine human intuition with Zerithian resonance. Follow your instincts, but be precise. The ritual is not about force. It is about understanding, connection, and intent. You are the only human who can channel this energy in a way that will restore my daughter." Elias nodded, feeling the immense responsibility settle on his shoulders. He had passed the trials of trust, demonstrating perception, courage, and empathy. But this ritual was different. It required him to act as a conduit for life itself, to connect with energy he could not see fully, and to guide it with only his human heart. As a compass, he approached Princess Lyra slowly, speaking softly. "Princess, I'm here. We will do this together. Trust me." Lyra's eyes opened faintly, and she offered a weak but trusting smile. "I trust you," she whispered. Elias took a deep breath and extended his hands toward her. He could feel the faint pulsing of her unstable energy, like a flickering flame in a strong wind. The Zerthian devices around them began to hum in response to his presence, glowing brighter as if recognizing the unique resonance of human life. Elias realized something extraordinary. His mere presence, his human energy, was interacting with the crystal channels. He focused, closing his eyes for a moment to center himself. The ritual required patience, not haste. He imagined the princess whole, vibrant, alive, and free from the shadows that clung to her energy. He felt her fear and uncertainty, but he also sensed her hope, fragile but real. He allowed his own compassion and courage to flow into the energy channels. Becoming part of the resonance, the crystals responded, vibrating with a soft hum that resonated in Elias's chest. It was unlike anything he had ever felt, a combination of light, sound, and energy that seemed alive. He guided it carefully, adjusting to its rhythm, letting his human instincts shape the flow. "Commander," Mura said, "feel her energy. Do not fight it. Work with it." Elias nodded silently, feeling the princess's heartbeat in a way that transcended physical senses. Her energy was uneven, wavering like a fragile thread. He placed his hands just above her chest, not touching, but allowing his presence to guide the energy. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the crystals pulsed in harmony with him. Hours passed, though Elias hardly noticed. The ritual required him to maintain focus, balance, and empathy. At moments, the energy surged dangerously, forcing him to remain calm and centered. He drew upon every lesson from the trials of trust, the perception from the forest, the courage on the broken bridge, the empathy with the guardian. Each human quality became a tool, allowing him to navigate the complex currents of power surrounding Princess Lyra. Lyra stirred slightly, her lips forming a faint smile. "It feels warm," she whispered, "like the light from my favorite sun." Elias's heart lifted. The first signs of stability were appearing. He adjusted the energy flow, letting her hope and courage amplify the resonance. He realized something remarkable. Humans could inspire energy through intention and emotion in a way machines or advanced aliens could not. The human spirit was a force that no technology could replicate. Queen Myrrh watched silently, her expression a mixture of awe and relief. "She is responding," she said softly. "Commander Kane, your presence has changed everything." No Zerthian energy alone could have reached her. Only a human heart could guide this. Elias felt a surge of determination. He would not fail, not now, when hope was so close. He continued to channel energy, maintaining focus despite fatigue. The room glowed brighter, and the hum of the crystals intensified, filling the chamber with a vibration that resonated in every bone, every nerve. Lyra's energy began to stabilize, and her breathing grew steady. Her body no longer trembled with weakness. Elias encouraged her gently, whispering words of comfort and hope. "You're strong, princess. Keep going. We're almost there." The ritual entered its final phase. Elias felt a resistance, a subtle push from the energy itself, as if the imbalance was trying to resist repair. He realized the final step required complete trust in himself and the princess, and in the connection they shared. He let go of fear and doubt, focusing entirely on the intent to heal. The crystal channels shone with blinding light, and Elias felt warmth surge from his hands through the energy network into Lyra. The instability that had plagued her vanished like morning mist, replaced by a steady, radiant flow. Her body glowed softly, alive with restored energy. Lyra opened her eyes fully, her violet gaze clear and bright. She smiled, a genuine, joyful smile, reaching out toward Elias. I feel better, she exclaimed, her voice stronger than it had been in days. Elias smiled, though his body ached from the effort. You did it, he said softly. We did it together. Queen Myrrah approached, her expression a mix of relief, admiration, and emotion. She placed a hand on Elias's shoulder. Human, you have done what we thought impossible. You have restored life where even the most advanced Xerthian methods failed. Your courage, empathy, and human spirit have saved my daughter. I have no words. Elias felt a warmth spread through him, not from the ritual, but from the Queen's words. Humans were not merely survivors or explorers, they were capable of inspiring and healing in ways that no technology could match. The thought filled him with pride and humility at the same time. Princess Lyra reached out, taking his hand. Thank you, she whispered, her energy strong, her small body glowing with vitality. You didn't just help me, you gave me hope. Elias squeezed her hand gently. You gave me hope too, Princess. You reminded me why humans are special. The Queen stepped back, her eyes glistening. You have changed the way we see the galaxy, Commander Kane. Humans are not ordinary. Your spirit, your heart, your courage, they shine brighter than any star. I am humbled to witness it. Elias felt a mixture of exhaustion and elation. The ritual had tested him in ways he could never have imagined. But it had also revealed something profound. Humans were extraordinary, not because of machines or technology, but because of their ability to care, to adapt, and to persevere against impossible odds. For the first time, he truly understood the message in the Queen's original summons. Humans were needed in ways the galaxy could not predict, and he had proven that a single human, with courage and compassion, could change the course of lives and perhaps even civilizations. As the chamber settled into quiet, the glow of restored energy filling the room, Elias looked at Princess Lyra and Queen Myrrah. He realized that this moment, this achievement, was bigger than any mission, bigger than any battle he had ever faced. Humanity had a place in the stars not as observers or minor players, but as beings capable of greatness, capable of touching lives in ways no other species could. The Queen spoke again, her voice steady and full of admiration. Commander Kane, you have not only saved my daughter, but you have also reminded all of us that courage and compassion are forces more powerful than any weapon or technology. Humanity will forever hold a place in our hearts and in our empire. Elias Kane felt a wave of gratitude and pride. He had faced the unknown, relied on his human instincts, and succeeded where even the most advanced civilizations might have failed. He realized that being human was not a limitation, it was a strength. And in that moment, as the princess laughed softly and the chamber glowed with life, he knew that the galaxy had witnessed the extraordinary power of humanity, not as conquerors, not as machines, but as hearts capable of hope, courage, and compassion. The resonance ritual was complete. The princess was safe. Humanity had shown its brilliance. And Commander Elias Kane, a single human among the stars, had proven that sometimes the smallest spark can ignite the brightest light in the universe. The sun rose over Valora, bathing the palace in golden light that shimmered across the crystal spires. Commander Elias Kane stood in the grand hall, his heart still full from the success of the resonance ritual. Princess Lyra, fully recovered, played nearby with small floating lights that danced like tiny stars. Her laughter echoed through the hall, a sound so pure and joyful that Elias could not help but smile. Queen Myrrah entered the hall, her regal presence commanding silence yet radiating warmth. Today was not just a celebration, it was a moment that would change the way her people, and perhaps the galaxy, viewed humanity. She had called a council of her advisors, ambassadors, and the brightest minds of the Xerthian Empire to witness what humans could achieve. Commander Kane, she began, her violet eyes fixed on him, you have done what no Xerthian could. You have not only healed my daughter, but you have reminded us of a truth we had long forgotten. Humans, though young among the stars, possess qualities that even the most advanced civilizations cannot replicate. Elias felt a flush of pride, but also a quiet humility. He had not come here seeking recognition. He had come to save a life. And yet, standing in this hall filled with some of the galaxy's most brilliant beings, he realized the impact of his actions. "Your Highness," he said softly, "I only did what any human would do. We care. We try. We never give up on those in need." The Queen smiled faintly, a rare display of emotion for someone so poised. "And that is exactly why you succeeded where others would have failed. The galaxy measures power by technology, strength, and strategy. But you, human, have shown that courage, empathy, and determination are powers in themselves. Powers that can heal, inspire, and even save life." The room was silent for a moment. Elias could feel the weight of the Queen's words. The advisors and ambassadors, many of whom had doubted the value of humans, looked at him with a new respect. Some whispered among themselves, amazed at the courage and effectiveness of a single human in a situation they could not have mastered. Princess Lara approached Elias, her small hand slipping into his. "You really saved me," she said, her eyes wide with wonder. "You didn't just help me feel better, you made me strong again." Elias knelt to her level, his gaze meeting hers. "You were strong all along, Princess. I just helped you remember it." Mura observed them quietly, then spoke to the assembled council. "Let this be a lesson to all of us. We often forget the simplest truths in our pursuit of advancement. Intelligence without empathy, strength without heart, and knowledge without courage are empty. Humans may be young among the stars, but their spirit is unmatched." Elias listened, amazed. The Queen's words were not just praise, they were a declaration. Humans were no longer just observers in the galaxy. They were beings of value, capable of inspiring and achieving extraordinary feats through qualities that no machine or alien technology could replicate. The council murmured their agreement, some nodding thoughtfully. Ambassadors from neighboring systems, who had traveled far to witness the ritual, looked at Elias with new understanding. Here was proof that humanity could contribute to the galaxy in ways beyond colonization, trade, or technology. Humans could lead, heal, and inspire. Queen Mura stepped closer, placing a gentle hand on Elias's shoulder. "Human," she said softly, her voice carrying a mix of awe and sincerity, "you have changed the way we see the universe. Humanity is not insignificant. Your courage, empathy, and determination have proven that a single human can influence the lives of many. You are a beacon of hope for your species and for all who believe in the power of the heart." Elias felt a lump rise in his throat. He had faced countless dangers, navigated uncharted worlds, and battled impossible odds. Yet nothing had ever moved him as profoundly as these words. For the first time, he truly understood that humans were extraordinary not because of technology, weapons, or speed, but because of the heart that drove them. Princess Lara tugged at his hand. "Will you stay?" she asked softly. "I want to see you again." Elias smiled gently, ruffling her hair. "I must return to Earth, Princess, but I promise I will not forget you. And I promise to carry the lessons I've learned here wherever I go." Mura nodded. "And when you leave, you will carry not only your own hope, but the hope of all humanity. Your actions today will be remembered across the stars. The galaxy has witnessed what humans can do, and we will honor that always." Elias looked around the hall, taking in the crystal walls, the shimmering light, and the assembled council. He realized something profound. Humanity's journey was just beginning. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long. But now, they had proof that courage, compassion, and determination were qualities that could shine brighter than any weapon or machine. The Queen continued, her voice echoing through the hall. "Let this day mark a new chapter in galactic history. Humans will no longer be considered ordinary. They are capable of greatness that transcends what we can measure. Commander Kane has shown us that the human spirit is a force as powerful as any we have ever known." Elias felt a surge of pride and humility. He had not sought recognition, yet the galaxy was acknowledging his people in a way that would change perceptions forever. He looked at Princess Lara again, her face glowing with vitality, and felt a deep sense of accomplishment. "Thank you," he said softly, addressing the Queen and her council, "not just for trusting me, but for showing me that humans can make a difference. We will continue to learn, to explore, and to help where we can. This is only the beginning. Mira's smile widened slightly, a rare expression for someone of her stature. Indeed, Commander, the beginning of a new understanding. And may the story of today inspire not only humans, but all who witness it, to believe in the power of courage, compassion, and hope. The council applauded, a sound that resonated through the hall and echoed across the palace grounds. Ambassadors whispered to each other, exchanging glances of newfound respect for the human species. Many had doubted humans' value, but they could no longer ignore the proof before them. A single human had saved the life of a princess, navigated impossible trials, and performed a ritual that even the most advanced Xerithians could not. Elias took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment settle over him. He had done what he had set out to do, yet the impact went far beyond a single life. Humanity had been recognized, not as observers, not as a minor species, but as a force capable of greatness. Princess Lyra tugged at his hand again. "Will you tell them stories of Earth?" she asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. Elias smiled warmly. "Yes, Princess. I will tell them stories of Earth, of our people, our courage, and our hope. And perhaps, one day, humans and Xerithians will explore the stars together." Queen Mira stepped forward, her voice gentle yet strong. "Human, your presence has reminded us that no matter how advanced a civilization may be, the heart remains the greatest source of power. Your courage and compassion have not only saved my daughter, but have shown us that humans are extraordinary. Never forget this and carry it with you wherever you go." Elias felt a warmth spread through him, a mixture of pride, humility, and determination. He had faced unknown challenges, relied on his human instincts, and succeeded in a way that no machine, no advanced alien, could. He realized that humans were not only survivors, they were creators, healers, and sources of hope. As the council dispersed, Elias walked to the balcony overlooking Velora. The sun reflected off the crystal spires, casting rainbows across the landscape. He thought of Earth, his family, and the people who had always believed in him. And he thought of the future, a future where humans would no longer be underestimated, where their courage and compassion could shine across the galaxy. Princess Lyra joined him, holding his hand. "Do you think humans can really do all the things you say?" she asked softly. Elias knelt beside her, looking out at the horizon. "I know we can," he said firmly. "We may be small in numbers, and our technology may be young, but we have something no one else has. The power to care, to hope, and to never give up. That is our greatest strength." Lyra smiled, her energy bright and steady. "Then I believe in humans too," she said. Queen Mira watched them quietly from the hall, a rare expression of warmth on her face. "Let this day be remembered," she said softly to herself, "for humans have shown the galaxy the power of the heart." And Commander Elias Kane has become a symbol of that truth. As Elias prepared to depart Velora, he felt a sense of peace and purpose unlike anything he had known. He had faced the unknown, relied on his humanity, and proven that courage, compassion, and determination were forces that could change lives and even civilizations. And as the Aurora's edge lifted off from Velora, its engines leaving a trail of light across the sky, Elias Kane looked back at the planet and knew this was only the beginning. Humanity had a place in the stars, not as observers, not as followers, but as a species capable of greatness beyond imagination. The galaxy had witnessed the extraordinary power of a single human heart, and in that heart, Elias knew, lay the future of humanity among the stars.